Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits. As I always say, as it should be, finding you in good spirits. All right. Well, we got some new updates. We got some things we got to talk about today. Okay. Revolving around this case. So we're going to get into this conversation. But of course, before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Okay. Do me a solid. It's not much to ask. Takes 2 seconds. Doesn't burn barely any calories. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on Facebook or any of these other platforms that I'm on right now. Of course, if you are watching on other platforms, please be sure to hit that follow button over there. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on X/Twitter. Show some love over there. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Of course, if you are watching on my main channel, which is here on YouTube, please be sure to crush that subscribe button over here. That'll be greatly appreciated, of course, as well. Obviously, reactions, comments, etc. help get the word a little bit more out there in regards to this case and all the other cases that we cover on this show. So your interaction, your love, your appreciation, your comments, most importantly, your 2 cents help get the word out a little bit more. And of course, if you want to share some love and you want to support even further, go hit that join button down below. Become a member. That'd be greatly appreciated. These purple lights don't pay for themselves, so it'd be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. Okay, so become a member. All right, or check out my Patreon. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. It's in the ticker down below, going that way as we speak right now. Okay? All right, guys. Now, this is not going to be a super long show today, but I wanted to give you some updates revolving around this particular case on Bryson Muir. We already know that this young man, 14 years old, this young teen, was last seen getting in the car of his mother's white Chevy Suburban. She was accompanied with the dad, Daniel Muir, and an unknown person, in the back seat of the car. They drove down the road. 4 minutes later, cops pulled them over because I guess there was like a little bit of a wellness check on this young man, and he was nowhere to be found. 4 minutes after leaving the presence of his grandmother, nowhere to be found. Of course, we have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, and there's been more information out here that has really kind of made me want to ask more questions. And the reason why is because of you guys out here. Some of you guys have sent me emails. Some of you guys have sent me DMs and etc. I'm reading the comments underneath the show as well. The previous show that we had covering this case. And you guys have put in a lot of information out here. So I wanted to look into a little bit more of the stuff that's out here. And I'm still curious. Was he exchanged in another car? Is he being held somewhere at another facility, at another place where this religious organization gets together and maybe worships? Could he be in one of their facilities, just somewhere, hidden off somewhere, away from police until he heals? I'm very curious about all this, And like I said before, too, the reason why this happened is because this young man showed up to his grandmama's house looking like this. In fact, this is what he was last seen looking like. The black eye, the fat lip, the orange Under Armour t-shirt, and jeans. That's what he was last seen wearing. My assumption is this photo was taken by his own grandmother, because I'm sure she was shocked at what she saw, how her grandson shows up at her front desk, at her front stoop to spend some time with her. Again, still wondering what the heck happened here. In fact, when his grandmother did lay eyes on him for the first time, when he walked through her door, he even said, because she reacted, of course, like, what happened to you, baby? Kind of thing. And he literally, allegedly said, "Don't worry, Grandma, I deserved it." Now, I know we've already talked about this at great lengths on the other show, but I'm going to say it again. Nothing garners this to any person, to any child, etc. Keep your doggone hands to yourself. I don't care how you feel about something, okay? I don't care if the kid was mouthy. I don't care if he was acting up with that teenage angst. You just don't do a closed fist to the face on a kid, period. And I will continue saying that till I'm blue in the face and I don't care. But of course, shout out to Grandma, because Grandma wasn't having it. She saw something and she said something. She called 911. She called police and made a report about how her grandson was last seen. What kind of physical damage was on his face. That's the reason why the police came up and pulled them over to see young Bryson. But he was nowhere to be found. Now, of course, I have a lot of questions. We talked about this last show, and I am still kind of curious. Was it a situation where see, that's the thing. It's like, did they not thoroughly check the car? I mean, this is Suburban. It's a white Chevy Suburban. Actually, you know what? Let me show you exactly what a doggone Suburban looks like. Come on now. Let me peep you on game real quick. These are big ass cars, okay? These are big cars. And if you ride in one of these, I'm just going to show this like that. Okay? These are pretty big cars. You see that right here? I'll just blow this up so you can see what I'm saying. It's showing. It's a pretty big car. And even though he is 6'2", young man, okay, Bryson is 6'2", 185 pounds. Just because he's 6'2", 185 pounds doesn't mean that he can't fit in the boot of the car. All the way in the back of the car. All right? It's a big car. But I am kind of curious if they're like, ma'am, sir, we're just here to check on your son. We heard that there was something. We're here to answer to a specific call. Is your son around? Looking into the car. And maybe they didn't go and look in the boot, right? All the way in the back of the car. Maybe they didn't. But I would think that they would. Nonetheless, they didn't see young Bryson in that car. So it doesn't make any sense. Regardless, it doesn't make any sense. Right? At least to me, it doesn't. How did this young man in 4 minutes disappear? And why did he look like this when he showed up to Grandma's house and when he left Grandma's house? He still was healing. So there is a lot of speculation that maybe, just maybe, he's being held off somewhere because they don't want 5-0 to see him in dire straits. They don't want to see the bruises on his face, the fat lips, so on and so forth. Because, of course, you got to remember that the dad, this man right here, Daniel Muir, not only is he an ex-NFL player, but he also is a pastor for a religious organization called the Straightway Ministries, okay? Which is very interesting as well, all right? And their beliefs, etc., their ideologies, obviously, we're going to talk about that in a second. Pretty intense, okay? I think it was like, I forgot the title. I want to go back to it and make sure we quote things correctly, okay? So we are going to talk about that in a second. But again, this man at least puts on paper that he is a pastor, okay? And he's out here preaching his word, for lack of a better term. Now, they believe, I mean, a lot of people are speculating, and I'm kind of tiptoeing around this area, that maybe this young boy, they put this young man away so that he can heal, because they don't want this man to get in trouble. Because let's be real, it may be possible that Daniel was the one that put his paws on his own son. Okay? To the point where his son believes he deserved it. Pretty crazy stuff. Nonetheless, pretty crazy stuff indeed. Now, of course, we are still wondering what's going on. Family, okay, these two, okay, both Kristin Muir, the mother, and Daniel, that's them together, were not at first cooperating with police. Not at all. Like, they were not helping. They were not on the same page. They were not working things out. In fact, Indiana State Police asked them, hey, can you please bring young Bryson in to show us proof positive that he's okay? We just want to make sure proof of life. Because we did not see him in the car. He disappeared 4 minutes after you left the house. So what's up with that? Can you just show us proof of life? That was supposed to happen around June 27th. That did not happen. In fact, from that point on, they were not cooperating at all. These two decided not to cooperate with police. Now, of course, we're now hearing some new things, some new updates saying that they have lawyered up. And they're only speaking through their lawyer. Very interesting stuff, though, wouldn't you say? Now, hold on. We're going to get into some articles. We got some videos, etc., and all that, too. But this is very beyond weird to me. Okay? You have a young boy looking like he looked. Grandma did the right thing. She saw something. She said something. So let me just say this to Grandma. That's how you drive, Grandma. And that's how we all should be doing anytime we see something like that, especially when it comes to littles. Okay, period. But she called 911, told them what was up. They pulled that car over. 4 minutes later, he gone. Now, there's a lot of speculation that he got transferred to another car. And of course, now is nowhere to be found. But the fact that you got a family, I'm sorry. I know that it's, just because somebody lawyers up does not automatically mean they guilty. Just because they lawyer up doesn't mean that that automatically, they are up to something bad. But I'm sorry, when you have something like a kid involved and everyone and their mamas wanting to know what happened to Bryson, show us the proof, show us that he's okay, show us that he's not missing, show us you didn't do anything crazy or unthinkable to this young man, and the first thing you do is lawyer up, that ain't right. I'm sorry. Every other time I'm like, okay, you're gonna lawyer up, okay, that makes sense. All right, you involved, you may be connected to an unaliving situation. I got you, fine. All right, doesn't automatically mean an admission of guilt. But at the same time, when you got a kid and you already see the breadcrumbs that have led up to this moment where they've lawyered up, come on, guys, that's weird. Now I go, that's when I'm side-eyeing. I don't know about you guys, but I'm side-eyeing. Now, I will say this too. Let's just say that he's okay. Let's just say that he is home, chilling, playing Minecraft, Xbox, PlayStation 64. I don't even know what they're called anymore. But you know what I'm saying. He's fine, dandy, eating Cheetos and having a grand old time with his kid, with his family. Okay, with his parents. If that's the case, why not just show him alive and well and keep it moving? Why hide out in your compound, talking to nobody, not communicating with police, and then on top of it, not even the cherry on top. This is the sprinkles now. you lawyer up. To me, that sounds like game over for these two. That's just what I think. But again, that's just my opinion. Now let's get into some articles here, guys, because we got some things we got to look into. We got some conversations to have. Okay. Now, again, they have been named. It has been official. Okay. They have been named persons of interest in the disappearance of their teenage son. Again, I'm telling you again, as much as people might sit there and go, oh, the media, overreacting, y'all being dramatic as hell, y'all drama queens looking into something that doesn't even exist, then show us the kid. That's it. Show us the Carfax. Show us the proof. Show us proof of life. And everybody will be like, all right, okay, all right, cool. But they're not doing that right now. Now they're speaking through a lawyer, which, by the way, I still don't know why they're speaking through a lawyer and why hasn't police just, whoop, whoop, pulled up, play it. The house is surrounded, compound is surrounded, whatever it is, right? Come out with your hands up, something. It just doesn't make sense. And I keep wondering, does it have to do with the organization? Does it have to do with the religious group itself? Could they be suited and booted? With a whole bunch of powerful pew-pews? I'm just asking. I am just asking. We do have a video I'm going to share with you guys in a little bit, just giving you guys a fair warning of where we're going here in the next in the next hour. Okay. There is another pastor that, of course, has spoken out about this. We're going to take a look at his video. He is a pastor of the Straightway Ministries. And I want us to see that with our own two eyes as well, because again, it just screams oddities. Yeah, I said oddities. I haven't said that in a long time. I don't think I've ever said that out loud, but oddities in my personal opinion. Okay. You got a pastor even backing them up and saying, y'all don't even know when this kid, emerges, y'all going to feel stupid. No, we're not going to feel stupid at all. We're not. We are not going to feel stupid at all. Why? Because they have not shown any proof of life on Bryson since he allegedly went missing on June 16th. Okay. Oh, yeah. And yeah, absolutely. Court TV, absolutely. We would be happy. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Yes, Hercules. Yes. And we'd move on, right? Or actually we'd say, we need to get, okay, now that he's here, we need to get him as far away from the daddy or far away from this organization as quickly as possible and make sure he's in a safe area, period. Happy he's alive, yes, but let's get him to safety. And if that means living with his grandma, with his auntie, whoever, his uncle, whatever it may be, that's what should be happening right now, right? That should be the focus. But we haven't heard anything. Okay? I haven't heard anything or seen anything as of yet. So let's take a look at this article here. Okay? So, parents name persons of interest in teenage son's disappearance. All right? So we already know that that this young boy has been missing. Okay? He's 6'2", 185 pounds. Okay? We already know he has black hair, brown eyes. He is a young black boy. All right? He was last seen wearing an orange Under Armour t-shirt along with blue jeans. Of course, he has a black eye and a fat lip. Now, it has been about 2 weeks now. Okay? So his eye could have healed a little bit more. That split lip could have healed a little bit more. Okay? There may be some remnants of bruising, but I'm sure he's a little bit better now. Okay? Now, of course, a silver alert was issued for Bryson after his parents failed to meet with investigators last Friday. Now, again, I hate to drill this and send this all the way home again, but when police ask you to show up with your kid and say, we want to make sure that kid's alive because he was not in that car when we pulled you over, we need to see the kid. And you guys go, oh yeah, we'll do that. And then the day of, you go, in second thought, we had some things to do. I had told Craig and them I was going to help move a refrigerator. Got to go. See you when I see you. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting right here. But why isn't ISP, Indiana State Police, or local PD outside of that, why are they not locking them up? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Now, I know you can sit there and say, okay, they don't have any proof of wrongdoing, but then it's weird because they've asked for them to show up with said child. Again, he looked like this. He looked like this before he disappeared. So clearly, young man is in dire straits. Wouldn't you agree? So why aren't these guys getting locked up? I'm just asking. But moving on. Okay. And I'm not trying to knock 5-0. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of red tape and a whole bunch of paperwork that they got to do. And it's the law and all this craziness and everything like that. But still, it's a kid. And you already see the kid is in dire straits. And then he disappears 4 minutes after he leaves grandmama's house. Bring him in, lock him up. Start interrogating the hell out of him for 17 hours. Can you repeat that one more time? I know, sir, my bad. We got a new detective in the room. And honestly, I know that you've already said this about 17 times over, but can you just tell us this more time about your last encounter with your son? It's just for him. Okay? Can you do that one more time? Tell us the story and see if the story is the same. You interrogate the hell out of them. See, my dogs are even upset about this. They're like, you better get some justice. You better get some transparency over this case. Okay? But anyway, I digress. All right? No one has seen the teenager since he was picked up with a black eye and a split lip by his mother, Kristin Muir, in Garfield Heights, Ohio on June 16th. Okay? It's been a minute, guys. So Cass County Department of Child Services contacted ISP investigators to investigate possible CA. We got to use these code words, unfortunately, but child A. All right. Investigators had gained access and visited the Muir's residence in Logansport last week in a sign of cooperation by the family. So they were willing to cooperate with police. The family was willing to cooperate, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, they said, "Nah, we good. We're gonna take several steps backwards, real quick, before we go all the way into this, because we just don't trust 5-0. Maybe I don't know. Like I said, I'm still trying to understand why they're not doing that. Okay, but their home is on a property owned by Servant Leaders Foundation, from my understanding. Servant Leaders Foundation owns the car that they were driving, the property that they live in. And in fact, it's a huge compound. Okay? It's a massive compound where I guess people are all there of all kinds. Like I said, culty vibes. Sorry, culty vibes. Culty vibes. You know what I'm saying. Okay? Just a little bit. And I'm wondering, I am kind of curious how, well, we're going to see something here. And it's just from the background, from what I see. So I keep wondering, is this kind of a militant type of religious group? Or no? We'll see that in a little bit, because we are going to be venturing back into Straightway Ministries again, okay? And of course, under Servant Leaders Foundation, okay? All of this stuff. It's very interesting, all right? Now it says here, Indiana State Police tells ABC 57 News they are now communicating with Bryson's parents through their attorney. I'm sorry. Oddities. I think that's weird. Now, I know some of you guys will disagree and go, well, that doesn't mean admission of guilt. Doesn't mean that they did anything wrong. Then why are police barking up their tree? Let's start with the common denominator. It all starts and ends with Bryson missing, right? He gone and no one knows where he is. So damn right. Police are going to be barking up their tree. So they say Daniel and Kristin are the parents, are parties of interest that we would like to speak to. We have a lot of questions that need answers to, which absolutely I agree 110%. And still, right now, no answers, no nothing, no proof of anything. We don't know where this young man is. We do not know if he's still alive. We do not know if he's alive and breathing. We don't know anything. Now, I don't know if he's somebody who, see, this is the other piece that I thought in my head too earlier or right before we went live. I was even thinking, doesn't he go to school? Or does he go to school strictly on that compound? I just have questions, guys. Just like everybody else, the extended family, and friends that are heavily and deeply connected to this case, they all have questions, more questions than answers right now. And it's very, very sad. I'm going to play a little video for you guys. Let's take a look at this. Hit the number one. Let me know you guys can hear this. Let's rock and roll.
An urgent question this morning. Where is Bryson Muir? The 14-year-old boy has been missing now for 2 weeks. Police believe he's in extreme danger. Our Sia New Yorker is live this morning on that case with more on the investigation. Good morning, Sia.
Good morning. Where is Bryson Muir? Police say he was last seen leaving his grandmother's house near Cleveland, Ohio, and since that time, he's vanished. His parents have stopped cooperating with police. Now take a look. Indiana State Police issued a silver alert last week for 14-year-old Bryson Muir, who's been missing for about 2 weeks. Bryson was staying with his grandmother near Cleveland, Ohio, until his mother, Kristin Muir, picked him up. That was the last time police say he was seen. In that time, his grandmother took this photo of Bryson's face, beaten and swollen with a black eye, and reported it to police. 13 News spoke to Cheryl Wright, who tells us she believes her grandson is the victim of abuse.
And I think more than just CA, okay? More than just A, in my personal opinion, but I am just one man with one opinion.
When she picked him up, I knew that she was taking him back to an abusive situation when she told me that I could care for him. So at that point, I knew that I had to call the authorities. Taking him back to an abusive up. When she picked him up, I knew that she was taking him back to an abusive situation when she told me that I could care for him. So at that point, I knew that I had to call the authorities.
You see, and again, I roll that back a little bit because I think that's really important to hear. Okay, but that is if I'm correct, this is the grandmother speaking about this, and she said Kristin was reaching out to her, being like, "Can you take him for a while? Can you take Bryson?" That says a lot. Either she was trying to get him away from, get Bryson away from the anger and vitriol that was, and the venom and the violence that he was getting inflicted upon by Daniel and trying to save him in some sort of way. But the fact that she called her own grandmother and said, and said, "Hey, can you take him?" says a lot. And then he shows up looking like this, right?
With a black
I just rolled it back a little bit.
Reported it to police. 13 News spoke to Cheryl Wright, who tells us she believes her grandson is the victim of abuse.
when she picked him up, I knew that she was taking him back to an abusive situation when she told me that I could care for him. So at that point, I knew that I had to call the authorities.
Do you see that? So she really had the daughter, okay, the mother of Bryson, called her own mother, his grandmother, and said, "Hey, can you take him? Can you take care of him?" Right? And then, of course, she stayed with him. But then I keep wondering, what was the reason why Bryson went back into the custody of the Muirs? Why did she relinquish that? I understand legally and all that stuff too, but I'm wondering, what was it? Did they come up and forcibly take Bryson out of that house and say, you know what I mean? Because Daniel was there. Remember, the dad was at the place when they picked Bryson up. So I keep wondering, maybe Daniel heard about this, felt some type of way, and of course this is just speculation, and said, "Hey, you know, we are going back and we are getting our son. She is not going to go and he's not being there." Or the other thought I had in my mind is, maybe the grandmother said, "Hey, I am not cool with what I'm seeing here. What the heck happened to little Bryson? And I'm calling the cops on you. I'm calling 911. He should not be looking like this." And then, of course, Daniel gets upset and says, "Nah, we getting my kid. We're going and we're leaving," kind of thing. I don't know, but because it seems as if almost like he's trying to. The fact that they came up, got him, and then he disappeared seems like a bit of a cover up because he's trying to not get in trouble. I'm talking about Daniel here. And so I am kind of curious about this, but let's continue on.
Police say that Bryson's parents backed out of a meeting with police Friday night where they were supposed to bring Bryson to. Now, police are considering a search warrant for a Logansport property where they believe the alleged abuse occurred. Coming up on Sunrise at 6:30, we'll talk about his father's connection to that place. Reporting in downtown Indy, New York.
I mean, like I said, there's some very weird things going on. Okay, very, very odd and weird things going on with this particular situation. And I keep wondering, is there a ploy or an attempt on trying to cover this what happened to Bryson up? And he's just somewhere, like I said, just playing Xbox, hanging out, chilling in the cut? Or did something really bad happen to this young boy? The fact that they have not produced Bryson at all says a lot. And the fact that they are also kind of eating up time tells me two different things. Either something really drastically sad and bad happened to Bryson, or they're trying to give him some more time to heal physically so that when he does show up to the police, he doesn't look like what that photo looked like. And maybe they could sit there and deny. I don't know. But it's very, very odd, in my personal opinion. Okay? We got more, though. We got more. Oh, come on. Hold on, guys. Oh, come on. Okay. Whole thing froze. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Come on. Hello. Okay. Man. Okay. This thing's tripping hard. All right. But hopefully it'll be nice to me now. Okay. Sorry for the glitches. It's kind of freezing on me for some weird reason. But anyway, it says here, grandmother of ex-NFL player, of course, Daniel Muir's missing 14-year-old son, says family church brainwashed teen and accuses former cult player of attacking him. Okay? So we got to take a look at this. Okay? So the grandmother of missing former Colts defensive tackle Daniel Muir is speaking out over the 14-year-old's disappearance. The alleged he suffered in the hands of his father and the Indiana religious group he believes brainwashed the teenager. His face was battered. This is what Cheryl Wright said, the grandmother of missing Bryson Muir and mother-in-law to Daniel Muir, told Indianapolis Fox 59 of her last encounter with her grandson outside her Cleveland area home. When I got Bryson, he had a black eye and a busted lip. His whole face was swollen. I can only imagine how many times he had been hit in the face for it to be like that. Okay. Of course, there's been a silver alert issued for Bryson. Officers described parents Daniel and Kristin as uncooperative after they reneged on an agreement to bring their son to meet up with ISP investigators last week. But on Saturday, they told him that they're beginning to cooperate. Okay, Wright tipped off the police about the alleged after seeing his grandson or her grandson's bruised face on June 16th. But when his mother, Kristin, came to pick Bryson up, the younger Bryson fled to to pick up Bryson. The younger Muir, Bryson, fled his grandmother's home and hopped into his mom's white Chevy Suburban and has not been seen since. Now, we're gonna talk about this here in a second. Bryson is so conditioned or brainwashed to their way of thinking or living that he wanted to go back. As I tried to get my daughter to leave, he ran out. He ran out of the house and left with them. Ohio police pulled over the Chevy soon thereafter, but by that point, Bryson was no longer in his mother's vehicle. The officers believed that he had probably been switched into another car. Wright is concerned about the Muir's connection with the Servant Leader Foundation, an organization that is listed as the owner of Muir's home and the Chevy Suburban. Furthermore, Wright says she told police that she believes Daniel gave Bryson his black eye. Bryson said she refused. Bryson, she said, refused to talk about the injury with her or the events that preceded it, prompting her to call the police. I didn't want to let him go. I tried to call police because he had been, aid. It hurts me that anyone could be attacked like that. I got to use these code words. It hurts me that my daughter would allow anyone to do that to her child. So, 40-year-old Daniel is a Washington, D.C. native who played at Kent State before going undrafted in 2007. We already know about his history in football, okay? From the Rams to the Packers to the Colts to the Jets. Daniel has also worked as the Indianapolis chapter pastor for Straightway Truth Ministries, who describe themselves as Nation of Hebrew Israelites. Okay. Now, another former Packers star football player also joined the ministry after denouncing Christianity. Another former Colts player has been linked to the organization, which has been described the Southern Poverty Law Center as a potential hate group over anti-LGBTQ and anti-Semitic ideology. Interesting. Okay. And of course, if you know anything, please call the Peru Post at 1-800-382-0689. Now, what's really interesting about this group, okay, which is, we already talked about this before, but I'm going to share with you guys the website one more again. All right. Now, this is interesting. Okay. And again, maybe their ideologies, maybe their beliefs and all that is, ruling with an iron fist. I don't condone that. I'm not sitting here saying like, that's okay. Nah, I ain't saying nothing like that, y'all. Okay. But maybe that's how they are within this organization. You got to remember, it's also a compound. It's literally a compound. From my understanding, media is going up to like the gates of the compound, and they can't get on the compound. It's very interesting. Now, I've already said this to you guys before, but I'm going to share it with you guys again, okay, about Straightway. One more again, because I know some of you guys are still new to these streets, okay, and new to this conversation. And so do me a favor, by the way, hit that like button down below, please, and thank you, okay? That would really, really mean a lot. If you were watching on other channels, please be sure to hit that reaction button. Hit it, all right? And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching over here. Of course, go over to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. If you can please do me the solid and hit that subscribe button over there, because we are also not only just doing taking clips from the live shows that we have here, but I am also doing basically shorter, more tighter breakdowns of cases that we are covering on the lives. So you guys, if you guys are looking for something that's a little bit more short and sweet, you're going to be able to get those over on the Pascal Show Clips, okay? But if you like the longer versions and just having the conversation, being a part of the fam and all that, we still going to do it over here. These lives aren't changing. But if you want to get just kind of the meat and potatoes of everything and just the facts, I will be providing that on the secondary channel, which is the Pascal Show Clips. So go over there, subscribe if you can. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. Because there's so many cases that we're covering and there's so much that goes on. And sometimes, these shows last 3, sometimes 4 hours. And there's a lot being said in those 3-4 hours. So I'm going to try to do a more condensed version for you guys on the secondary channel for those of y'all who just want to get the bullets. Okay. So subscribe here, subscribe over there, hit that follow button on all my other platforms. Please share this feed, share his name, hashtag his photo, etc., because we still don't know where he is. Doesn't matter if we have the speculation of, he could be over on some compound and just chilling in some sort of building, just holed off somewhere, right? Safe, hopefully, but he's holed off somewhere. It doesn't mean that we haven't seen proof of any life at all. So, like I said, please, if you can, share. So let's take a look at this, okay? About Straightway, okay? Israelites of Straightway, we pray that the truth presented on our site will resonate within you and bring to you to true freedom. We are a nation of Hebrew Israelites who are commandment keepers. I'm sorry, I keep on reading that different. Who are commandment keepers, obedient to Yah, God, and our Savior, Jesus Christ. We are blessed with a vibrant deliverance ministry and life-changing truth through a true Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15 pastor. We praise and thank Yah for all things. In regards to what to expect from us, expect to hear things that will upset you. Expect to find things in your Bible that you have never seen before. You will be challenged. But the freedom in your life and the relationship with your God that is possible makes the journey so worth it. Now, that is just the about section, okay? Interesting, right? Hebrew Israelites. Okay. Now, the thing is, of course, we are all kind of curious as to, what this organization is all about and all that. And I did a little bit just kind of showing what Daniel Muir has done as far as his work in the Indianapolis chapter for the Straightway ministries, right? It's very interesting, like I've shared with you guys before. Okay. Yes, I have, Nicole B. Yes, I have. It is interesting. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. You hear all kinds of craziness. It's interesting. Okay. It's interesting. But yes, I have seen him, as I've walked through the streets of New York. Okay. That kind of thing. Yeah, it's very interesting nonetheless. But just so you guys know, this is what they claim. They are part of the nation of Hebrew Israelites. Okay. Now, I've already shared with a little bit of what they were all about in the past, or at least him preaching, and that's interesting too. Nonetheless, it's very, very interesting. But there is a person, another pastor, Pastor Dowell, that has spoke out. Okay, and the reason why I found out about this is because somebody actually messaged me this and was like, "Hey, you need to check this out and see. I would love to hear your thoughts, or share this with the show and put in your 2 cents about this." Okay. Now it seems fairly militant. The vibe I get is fairly militant. Okay. So I can see why maybe there is a little bit of the dragging of the feet from 5-0, because maybe they may be very suited and booted on that compound. Now, I mean, that is just straight up speculation. But at the same time, I don't know. You see these things, you're going, "Oh, damn. It's pretty radical, to be completely honest." So I keep wondering. Could that be the reason why there's a little bit of a slow reaction? Why everybody's just stopped at the gate of this compound and not just come bum rushing in and going, "Okay, put your hands up where I can see them." Somebody said Jim Jones earlier. Is this like a Jim Jones type of vibe, type of compound? It's very interesting, right? Because there's people who actually live on this compound. I wouldn't say the cops are afraid. I feel like the cops are just trying to be cautious, maybe. But like I said, it just seems a bit odd. Here, let's take a look at the website a little bit more. Now, I've never really gone through this whole website either, but Pastor Dowell, we're about to see him. He's over here on the side here. We're about to see him speak here in just a little bit, speaking on behalf of this situation, right? Yeah, actually, let me see what I can do here. Wow, these services are long, and this one's 10 years old, y'all. Dang, hold on. Let's find something a little bit more up to date. Let's see this. Be sure to hit that like button down below, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay. Yeah, Red, like maybe a Waco. Yeah, it kind of gives me Waco vibes too. Yeah. Yeah, Koresh. Yeah, Lily on Facebook. Yes. You know what I mean? Gives me those kind of vibes, right? And real quick, thank you, Fly Girl, for being a member for the past 2 months. Thank you, Pascal, for all that you do. Thank you, guys. Again, without you guys watching, I'd be talking to a wall. So I appreciate the support. I appreciate the energy. You guys could be watching 15 different other shows right now, 15 million other shows, and you guys are watching this, and that means the world to me. Real talk. But let's see. Hold on. Sorry, just trying to get this bad boy. Because I want to play this for you guys, so we can see it together as a family. So let's take a look. This is one of the services like 3 weeks ago. They're saying we are Hebrews.
We are Hebrews.
Okay, I'm going to skip through this because I've never seen this, but I want to see if there's any preaching or is it just music? Is it just music? This guy right here in the middle is feeling it. Look at him. Yeah, I guess it's all just music. Dang. I was hoping to see somebody preach. Somebody say something. But it looks like just music. Okay. Interesting. And of course, you know, there's certain things that there's certain beliefs and ideologies from Hebrew Israelites that are very, very extreme, very, very radical. You know, of course, it's very speaking down on women. You know, we live in different times now, and they're like, nope, women should be honoring the man, so on and so forth, right? It is interesting, okay? But let's take a look at, well, first off, I want to share this because there was a post that was put on by, hold on, I want to make sure I quote this correctly, National Advocates for the Missing and Exploited. They said, missing in Indiana, of course, we already know about this. A concerned individual has come forward with valuable insights into the disappearance of Bryson, the son of the former NFL player Daniel Muir. Multiple sources are sharing concerns about his father's involvement with the Straightway Truth Ministry, which some allege is a cult-like organization masquerading as a faith-based group. Further research on Facebook reveals similar concerns. Yes, I've even seen, if you just type in Straightway Ministries, or if you type in Pastor Dowell, his name as well, on YouTube alone, there's people out here that are trying to literally expose them, right? Expose this organization, this religious group. But okay, we encourage you to investigate and draw your own conclusions. The situation appears to be more complex and sinister than initially thought, with allegations of corruption and evil lurking beneath the guise of religiousness and ministry. Further evidence of this will be placed in the comments section below. Okay. This is very interesting. And this is something that was posted on there along with that, what I just posted or what I just said. Okay, a post that was made by the National Advocates for the Missing and Exploited. They put this up, and there was a text message. It was a longer text message. So I just wanted to pull this piece out because I thought this was interesting enough, right? It says, thank you. I used to be in this ministry. It is being said that if you go to Pastor Dowell's, the head of Straightway Truth Ministries /cult Patreon account, he is telling his subscribers what Bryson allegedly did to deserve to be attacked. I do not know if this is true, but I will not pay money to Dowell to find out. Now, what's really interesting, okay, is why is Dowell even talking in the first doggone place? That's what I want to ask, first and foremost, okay? First and foremost, why is he all up in the conversation? But I want to share this with you guys, nonetheless, because he did speak out recently about this situation with the Muirs. Let's take a look at this.
All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Pastor Dowell here.
I want you guys to see his background, okay? He's like the main guy. This is the guy for the organization. Do you see his background? I'm saying literally his background. All the stuff that's hanging around in his background, y'all. Damn. Like I said, suited and booted much? Okay.
Well, I'm sure by now a lot of people have.
Hold on real quick. Ain't that night vision goggles up in this mug? What he need night vision goggles for? He got night vision goggles, baby. What does he need it for? Who, what, when, where, and why would he need night vision goggles right now? I'm just saying. Okay, let's go into it. But damn, okay? Ex-Army Airborne Ranger, Mr. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Damn. I'm just saying. Because I saw other photos of him like just head to toe in camo, right? Just ready. You know what I mean? Have mercy. And I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg of the arsenal that he has. Like I'm sure he's got an arsenal, right? Let's go.
Heard somewhat of what they believe to be what they think they understand concerning the Pastor Muir situation up there. And I can tell you, I'm going to do just like the world does. Whenever something is under investigation or whatever it is, I'm not going to do like a lot of people do, sit there and rush to judgment. The one thing I do know is that the news media has definitely done spun the narrative. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right here.
What is the narrative then?
It's amazing how it's something as soon as it hits the public out there, as soon as it hits the public, people automatically believe that whatever is being reported is true. Don't y'all know news media by now? Don't y'all know how this system works by now? You don't know how it works by now. Well, anyway, everybody allegedly in this country is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But the way it actually works is you're guilty and they treat you as if you're guilty. And here's the problem. The problem is, I wonder if the news media, because I'm at liberty to say this, because I know some of the things that's going on, but because there's legal counsel involved, I can't say too much because they don't talk to me because they're in another state.
Now, here's the thing. Okay. I get it. I get what he's saying. Yes, media has a tendency to spin things. All right. That is true. But at the same time, we're talking about a missing 14-year-old boy. What is being spun? What's being twisted? What is being twisted? If law enforcement is because it's not media smacking up, flipping and rubbing this thing down. They're not chopping up and screwing this at all. If law enforcement is literally sitting here going, yeah, they're not conversating with us. We've asked them questions. They were willing to cooperate. They were going to bring him in to show us that he's alive and he's well. And then they decided not to. They decided not to show him. What's up with that? So miss me with the nonsense of, oh, it's the media spinning and did it. No, man. Please explain that to me. If they can't even produce the child right now, you cannot blame the media or the court of public opinion to be side-eyeing and reporting the news as such, because that is the truth. If law enforcement's out here saying the same thing, this is not a king of spin type of situation. Everyone's reacting to nothing but facts and the truth from what law enforcement has given us. Come on, y'all. Come on. If that's a problem, where the kid at? Where the kid?
All right. So, but I wonder as soon as the truth of all this comes out, and I wonder when the news media found out that they falsely reported something.
Falsely reported what, though? See, that's what I'd like to know, too. What was falsely reported? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. If it was, even if it wasn't 4 minutes later, right, and they pulled him over like 12 minutes later, still doesn't change the fact that where is the kid? Where is the kid? Hi, Chihuahua.
And everybody else they was swift to jump on the bandwagon of condemnation. I wonder if all these people are going to come out with the same vigor and tenacity and repentance I wonder if they're going to make a video saying that I'm sorry and all this other stuff, because at least it looks like it's heading that way. It looks like it's heading that way.
Again, I'm going to say this again. If it's really going to head that way, then the kids should have already showed up on the 27th when ISP, Indiana State Police, asked the parents to show up with said kid. I mean, at the end of the day, I just keep saying the same doggone thing. You can't sit here and say, oh, the public's going to be, media's going to be apologizing here real soon. I'll tell you what. Okay, if that's really the case, where the kid? If the kid was already here and the media was still spouting BS here, going, he's still missing, he has not been found whatsoever, then yeah, bet. Absolutely. I'd be like, yo, yeah, media should go, oh, lo siento, désolé, please forgive me, and move on, right? But that's not the case here. They're speaking with law enforcement through a lawyer. Police have yet to see this young man alive. What part is being spun here? What part of that is a lie? Are you just saying law enforcement is just lying for the sake of lying? I call BS on that, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to let him say a little bit more, but I'm sorry. Nah. And he's like, I'm Team Daniel, basically. But you cannot fake the BS. You cannot fake what's really here. You can't fake the truth, which is they have not produced their son to police at all. They're hiding behind their fence. They're hiding behind their compound in their organization up there, and they have yet to do anything about being transparent with law enforcement. They're speaking to law enforcement through a lawyer. And this all would have gone away like that if they just showed up with Bryson, or at least this part of the story of where is Bryson, right? Heavens to Betsy, where is Bryson? That whole chapter would have been snuffed out so fast, and it would have been more of a let's get him to safety, because clearly he is a victim of child A. That would be the conversation that would be had right now. So miss me with this nonsense. I'm sorry. This is nonsense.
Because, man, I tell you, as soon as a story or news break or whatever it is, and you see things, and look, just because you see something, it don't mean that that's the way it is. And man, oh man, how many of you out there are really, truly learning about natural family members? I remember some time ago, before I even started the community or even the Straightway Truth Ministry in itself, we was having a church in the home. And my natural family members, man, they hated it so much that they brought forth a false allegation. And my wife and I had to actually go get an attorney in order to beat back this wicked organization. And because, man, I mean, I'm like, who follows up on these outlandish charges like this without knowing the truth of what's happening? And man, I'm telling you, and so I beat DCS at least 2 or 3 times on false allegations, to the point now that if somebody even makes some allegations, something like that, they don't even follow up no more.
Okay. Now, it goes off the rails into more personal things for him and all that stuff. But here it is. I get it. All right. I get it. He and Daniel, okay, the dad of Bryson, are leaders of a very radical religious organization. Okay. So instantly, it's very easy for them to instantly say, oh, this is a witch hunt. They're lying because they're trying to take us down, that kind of thing. Sure, it's easy to do that. It's easy to go down that route. But if you got law enforcement just simply asking for proof of life, and you're not doing that, no matter what, police are going to start barking up your tree. News and media is going to catch wind of that too. Especially after you see a young kid missing after he looked like this. Let's not forget that too. This isn't just Bryson looking just fine. And he's left his, grandma's house all in smiles, skipping to the Chevy Suburban, getting in the car with those three individuals. And then a day or two later, he just disappears. No, that wasn't the case. The kid looked like this, in bad shape. Okay? Massive difference, in my personal opinion. And again, there were those three were the last to see this young boy alive. Let me repeat that again. Or at least, in the flesh. Those three in that car were the last three people to see that young kid alive and breathing. And all the police are asking, they're not trying to invade into your life, trying to take you down. This is not some extra thing. That's what I think. This is literally a missing kid's case. They ask for you to produce your young son. You're not willing to do that. There is no spin here. I'm sorry, there's no spin. This is not a witch hunt. It's not. But it's very easy for one to instantly look at that and spin it to make it look like, oh, see, they're just trying to take our organization down. They don't want us to have our beliefs. No, they're saying, hey, do you. Freedom of religion. If that's how you believe, that's what you believe. Go and do your thing. You're not harming nobody. You're harming this kid, and that's the problem. We're trying to find out what the hell's going on. But if this takes down a whole organization or a whole chapter of Straightway Truth Ministries, then hey, I mean, shoot, that's on you. That's on you, baby. Okay? Because you shouldn't have done what you did to this young kid. Period, point blank. Sometimes. But let's continue on. All right, we still got more. We got some news clips and all that. We got more. Let's take a look at this.
Tonight's statement, Eric.
I will say this. Shout out to Grant. Man, I'll just do this again. If anybody knows if I can get in contact with Grandma, I would love to have Grandma on the show. Okay? Let me just say, shout out to Grandma. Man, she out here soldiering. Okay? Shout out to the grandma. Okay? Shout out to Miss Right, because she doing the right thing. Okay? Man, that's amazing. Anybody that knows anything about the Bryson's family, etc., yes, I would definitely say speak up. Do exactly like Grandma is doing. Grandma, I feels like she's burning the midnight oil. Is just putting in as much information as she can to bring awareness about this case about her grandson. But at the same time, the only reason why this is even out here like this is because she did the right thing. She saw something and she said something. She did something about it. And I want to make that abundantly clear. Okay? Yes, it still ended up like this young man is missing right now. Okay? Bryson is missing right now, but at the same time, without her sitting there going, no, not even one is enough. No, this is not even cool, right? The fact that she got active and got in front of this and talked to police says a lot. Also, let's be real. If she didn't call 911 and that kid ran into the car, he may have just disappeared, and this story would just be we would not hear anything about this story, I'm sure. Think about that too. So I'm very, very thankful that she very quick to go, what is that on your face? What happened to your face, son? Who did this? No, that's not cool. 911. Okay? But let's continue on. We got more.
Indiana police are desperately searching for a boy believed to be in extreme danger. It's been more than 2 weeks since 14-year-old Bryson Muir was last seen. The boy's grandmother says he's a victim of child abuse by his father, former Indianapolis Colts player Daniel Muir. Now police are trying to figure out if his disappearance is tied to a cult-like religious group. Let's bring in News Nation law and justice contributor and former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer to discuss how this impacts the investigation. Jennifer, good morning.
Hold on really quick. Clearly this is this ties into a serious radical organization. I think we can all agree on that. Okay, we can all agree on that. And something is wrong. Yes, Landra T.I. expeditiously. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, clearly something ain't right because they're hiding behind the organization. They're hiding on the compound and not speaking to law enforcement. That's a bit weird, don't you think? But let's take a listen. Let's hear what our friend Jennifer Coffindaffer has to say about this situation.
Morning.
Good morning to you. Good to see you, Nick.
Good to see you too, Jennifer. It's disturbing enough that the grandmother is concerned about her grandson and isn't getting information. But Jennifer, the details of this disappearance is also alarming, right? The grandmother says that he was brainwashed and his parents believe that they needed him to conform to his way of living. And based on the evidence we have, what do you believe actually happened to Bryson Muir? And what do you think are the chances that he's still alive?
Well, certainly very concerning when you look at the ties to his father and this religious cult, really, if you will. I just got done doing a lot of research on this organization, and they completely control the individuals in their group, meaning everything is provided by them. And we know, according to the police, that possessions of the family of the father of Bryson were owned by this religious community, and that he in fact is a part of that. And it's very concerning because of how he disappeared.
Now, I agree with what Jennifer's saying here. I mean, obviously there is, if this is exactly how, the things are being said about this organization itself, let's be real. It could be nothing. They just could be a compound filled with people that believe the same thing and are, and praising the same and worshiping the same God, you know what I mean? And the same beliefs, you know what I mean? But at the same time, when you see that it's fairly radical, it's on a compound, it's fenced off, it does make you wonder, are they just living off the fat of the land and not contributing members of society? Are they really that controlled? Is it just whatever happens on this compound stays on this compound and that's it? I mean, it does make you wonder a lot of those things. So what she's saying, I get it, because remember, in the report that we read earlier about him being brainwashed, they basically said, apparently, according to the grandmother, he ran out the house and ran into a car, ran towards the car. Now, that's very, very much some brainwashing stuff. I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. This is somebody who clearly is this young boy. It's clearly being controlled and of course, maybe is scared of what kind of punishment he would get if he didn't book it back into the car. Think about that too. The classic one just said compounds are in their own world. Exactly. So it does make you wonder, okay, if they're on their own world, in their own world, they grow their own corn, they harvest their own food and all that stuff, then okay, then it is what it is. But at the same time, that shows a little bit of the, feeling of being kind of stuck on that compound. No ways of getting out. And so on. And it's not just Bryson. It's everybody else as well that's on that compound. Like I said, we've seen this with Jim Jones. We've seen this with David Koresh. We've seen these on these. What was the other one with the? They thought that there was a Halley's Comet had aliens, and they had to unalive themselves to go onto this. Get onto this special spaceship that was behind Halley's Comet. It was years ago, but like I said, that's some crazy stuff. I think they did Kool-Aid too. Heaven's Gate. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you, Universe. That's funny that you said Heaven's Gate and your name is Universe 25. But Heaven's Gate, yes. Okay. That's interesting, right? There's plenty of organizations out here that are kind of either radical, extreme, not only just radical in their thoughts, but extreme in what they're willing to do to get to that next place, to that spiritual plane. Like the Jim Jones situation, like the Heaven's Gate situation, like the Waco situation, right? So, what Jennifer Coffendiver is saying here ain't wrong. It really isn't.
Recall he was at his grandmother's house. He had this terrible bruised eye. And when the mother came and took him away, she was later pulled over, and yet he was already missing out of the vehicle. So where did she go? And there was another individual in that vehicle. Where did he come from? So I'm very concerned. I
feel like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt her, but in the video, I'm going to roll back a little bit, but I still feel like the person that was in the car, it feels like that could have been a handler, if that makes any sense. Maybe it's the compound's fixer. It's their own Ray Donovan. I know that sounds crazy. Okay. Maybe some of you guys don't know about Ray Donovan, the show, but it was on Showtime. It's not on anymore, I don't think. But anyway, it was all about a guy who's a fixer. So I keep thinking that maybe this guy that was in the car may have been a fixer, somebody who's willing to roll up his sleeves and do some of the dirty work. I don't know. Make sure that the kid got into this other car, something like that. Like I said, something's weird about this though, because 4 minutes later, allegedly 4 minutes later, he was gone. So let's continue on. I'm going to roll that back just a smidge.
So I'm very concerned that this cult could have a nexus to the disappearance.
Jennifer, there was some incredible work done, investigative side of our News Nation Indianapolis affiliate, connected to the family Straightway Truth Ministries, which have some linked to a cult. What do you know about this group, Jennifer, and their ties to possibly being a cult or operating like one?
Well, I know that members have to work. They work in different businesses, but specifically construction type businesses. And everything they have is given over to the church and their elders and the main person, Mr. Dowd, who runs this ministry. Now, interestingly, they're only given $50 a month. $50 a month per person.
What?
And that can be sanctioned for them not doing the right thing. In addition, everything that they have, that they're allowed to have, is controlled by the group. So if they want a haircut, they go to their barber. If they want new shoes, it's paid for by the cult. So I should say religious group, but has the cult-like leanings. So they're completely controlled, Nick, in terms of their daily lives.
Tell me you a cult without telling me you a cult. Okay? All right? Hell. To get shoes, they got to say what again? They got to what? If they go to the bar. What if you don't like the barber? What if the barber don't understand your head? Okay? What if you had a barber? Trust me, at least with fellas, you find that one barber, you got that barber for life. I mean, that barber's there for life. Or, unless until one of y'all says like, in the arms of an angel, or, has a new job or something like that. You know what I mean? But what the hell? Then on top of that, yes, Jim, $50 a month, you get $50 to do what with? What are you buying? Whole milk from the cow on your compound? Is there some sort of economy that's going? You see what I'm saying? Sure, maybe to get gas and all that stuff, but what the heck? What? Okay, you want shoes? We'll get it for you. You want other things? No, don't worry about it. We'll get it for you. What the hell? And they're given the $50. You see what I'm saying? They're given that allowance. So it's not like they're tithing. Because it wouldn't make any sense. That money's going right back. That money would go right back to the organization. Okay. Okay. All right. That's wild. That's wild information, though.
And Jennifer, I know that you work strictly. In fact, I want to ask you this quickly. What would you tell the family to hold out hope? What would you say to them?
Well, I'm worried about if you're talking about the grandmother. I hope what's happening behind the scenes with law enforcement, they are looking at all cell phone information. I hope they get warrants for the community, this church community, to help find Bryson. They're going to have to be very proactive in this situation because it's very concerning when you look at these players and the type of community they're running.
That's crazy, guys. There's one thing that he said in the beginning that I want to grab real quick because I wanted to react to his what he said here. And I'm really glad about this video, okay? Because it does give us more insight about the organization. I mean, shoot, $50 a month. No one can survive on $50 a month unless you're just eating nothing but. I mean, you're not eating. I guess they say the compound provides, so you don't need anything unless you need to go and get gas or, maybe there's that one thing, medicine or something of that sort. But even so, they have to give confirmation. They have to give you the go ahead, the stamp of approval to be able to buy shoes even. That's crazy, guys. But hold on.
Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer to discuss how this impacts the investigation.
Right at the
Jennifer,
beginning.
good morning.
Good morning to you. Good to see you, Nick.
Good to see you too, Jennifer. It's disturbing enough that the grandmother is concerned about her grandson and isn't getting information. But Jennifer, the details of this disappearance is also alarming, right? The grandmother says that he was brainwashed and his parents believe that they needed him to conform to his way of living. And based on the evidence we have, what do you believe actually happened to Bryson Muir?
He had to conform to their way of living. Now, I don't know how long this young man was there for, but he had to conform to their way of living. And of course, this ended up with this young man getting a busted lip and a black eye. Why? It's because he maybe didn't like, or maybe he doesn't believe in those beliefs, because he was inquisitive, maybe a free thinker, marches to the beat of his own little drummer boy. So he didn't conform, so therefore that's a problem. So you're going to get beaten into submission until you actually submit to our ways and our teachings. That's wrong. And that's very dangerous as well. We got more. Now, this is a phone call from the sheriff, okay? If I'm correct. And so I want to share this with you guys too. And again, I see a bunch of you guys in here. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Again, please don't forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it, because it gets the story and the word out here about this case. Please, okay? Let's help find Bryson here, okay? And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, all that stuff. Okay, I got another video for you guys, and this is an interview or a phone conversation that was had on News Nation talking about this investigation.
Meantime, let's welcome in Sergeant Stephen Glass. He's with the Indiana State Police, Peru District, for more on this investigation.
Sorry, Sergeant, not Sheriff. Sergeant.
And Sergeant, thanks for your time. Any leads at this point in finding this teen?
Right now we are looking into and exploring several different avenues. But again, with respect to the ongoing investigation, we would not like to disclose the measures that we are taking. However, the Indiana State Police would like the public to know that we are diligently working towards finding Bryson, and we will use every resource available to us in doing so.
Understood. There are some things that you cannot say, but in terms of the public looking out for this teen, is it focused on Indiana and Ohio, or does it go across state lines?
Yeah, so as of right now, it's pretty localized here in Indiana, specifically around Logansport and stuff, yes.
Okay, how about the parents' cooperation? Our report just indicated that they had planned on coming in for a meeting. Are you all in contact with the parents?
Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. Remember, we just heard from Pastor Dowell, okay, one of the leaders of this church organization. He said all of this is BS, the media spinning this and all that crap, right? We are listening to a sergeant that is definitely one of the people spearheading the investigation and in the search of trying to find this young boy. What's being made up? And they're even saying, you're going to hear in a second, they're even saying information that if they were lying, why would they lie about it? Like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. First and foremost, show us the kid, you know?
As of right now, we are in contact. They did get legal counsel. They did agree upon meeting last week at noon at our Indiana State Police crew post. However, backed out right before that, which signaled an unwillingness to cooperate, and they sought legal counsel. So yes, we are in contact with their legal counsel to try and get to the parents.
What more, Sergeant, can you share about the last time that Bryson was seen, his location, and the extent of any injuries he had at the time?
Yeah, so the last time that Bryson Muir was last seen was leaving a family member's residence in Ohio. It was called in by a family member. Traffic stop was conducted on the vehicle that was driven by mother, Kristin Muir, and Bryson was not in the vehicle. So that would have been the last time we've seen him, would have been on that June 16th in that vehicle, leaving the parents' home.
Our report indicated that his father is a person of interest in the case. Can you elaborate at all on his potential involvement?
So what I can tell you is that the mother and the father are both parties of interest.
Mother and father are both parties of interest. If they showed this young kid, there would be no problems. You see what I'm saying? Then if they already showed the kid and he was fine and he's living just fine and dandy, then I understand the idea of, oh, the media's possibly spinning this to just add more drama. No, that's not the case. They are persons of interest because they have yet to produce proof of life.
And we would like to speak with them. We have a lot of questions that we need answers to as to the injuries that Bryson sustained.
What is the level of concern and danger he may be in right now?
As of right now, he's still missing and considered in danger.
How are you coordinating, Sergeant, with investigators in other areas, particularly as we hear of allegations that there may be some involvement of this religious group in Tennessee?
Yeah, so we are in contact with some agencies. Obviously, we all like to use our resources available to us, and we all work together because ultimately we want to find Bryson. We want to find Bryson and not only make sure that he is okay, but we want to make sure that he is safe. With regards to the religious organization, we do not have much information other than what is currently being talked about by the public. However, regardless of the religious organization, the Indiana State Police will not stop trying to find Bryson. That's our ultimate goal. We want to get eyes on him.
Have there been calls before about Bryson's safety and any domestic issues that Indiana Police and others are aware of?
We do not have any information on that as far as prior involvement of being in danger.
The call that came in was from the grandmother. Does Bryson have any social media that you all have been able to glean any evidence or clues from?
I do not have any information on Bryson's social media information.
What is your message?
I mean, yeah, he is 14. But at the same time, I am kind of wondering, what other information? Maybe just his, does he play video games? Are the kids on that compound allowed to play video games and whatnot? I am kind of curious about those things, right?
Sergeant, to the public in Indiana and elsewhere to be able to help and assist you all in this case to bring this boy home safely?
The Indiana State Police we're looking for any information to point us in the right direction to find Bryson. We know someone out there has information, and we ask that they do the right thing and come forward. If they do have any information on Bryson Muir, please contact the Indiana State Police Peru Post at 765-513-9907 or simply dialing 911.
The parents you mentioned have lawyered up. What is the message to them at this point?
Do the right thing. Our kids are our most prized possessions. We want to make sure that they're all safe and okay. Please come forward. Please do the right thing, and let's talk about it and find Bryson, make sure he's okay, and get through it.
Now, let me just say this. The fact that he has to even say that says a lot to me. The fact that this sergeant has to sit there and go, hey, these are our kids. We care about them. We need to make sure that they get home and make sure that they're safe and all that stuff. Do the right thing. As soon as he says do the right thing, and you're having a conversation to two adults, two parents that should be doing everything, but do everything they can to protect and raise their children, keep them away from evil, right? keep evil at bay, keep dangers at bay, and all that stuff. And the fact that this sergeant has to sit here in an interview and go, "Come on, do the right thing, guys," almost begging, speaks volumes to me. And it shows to me what we're dealing with potentially, what kind of parents we're dealing with potentially. And it could be that they're so lost in the sauce, so lost in their own beliefs and whatnot, that they think that they've done no wrong. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't know if that's it. I think that there's fear from the parents. Why would you hide? If you did nothing wrong and Bryson's okay, why? Again, why would you hide? Why would you hide behind a lawyer? I get it as far as when it comes to the photo that we all saw, that they've been playing over and over again, that is on everybody's thumbnails, and we're all reacting to it because that's the last look he had. That's his physical presence before he disappeared. So I get it that maybe you're scared of not speaking or stepping forward because you don't want to get arrested. You don't want to get hit with any type of charges and whatnot, but the damage is already done. That photo speaks volumes. That photo is enough to put you away. Maybe not for life, but for a little while. So why not just face the music? Be adults and face the music. If he's alive and well and he's doing just fine, why not just step up and do the right thing? You know, like I said, it's beyond me what we've been seeing so far in regards to this particular case. This young man is still nowhere to be found. We do not know where he is. Law enforcement has not seen him in the flesh alive. That's scary. That's very scary. And he could be holed up. He could be hiding in that compound. In fact, he could have been driven off to a whole other compound in another state. Remember, there are other compounds that are part of the Straightway Truth Ministries. There's other compounds, okay, in other states. If he was transferred to another car and they blazed down the road, do you really think that they would keep him over on the compound? Maybe they would. Maybe they would. Maybe they didn't think that, if they were thinking this and they were that diabolical, thinking about these things. Maybe they did. Maybe he is on that compound, but maybe he's in another compound. He was driven off somewhere else for other kids that are difficult, that are not willing to submit to their teachings and way of life. Maybe he's been put into some sort of their own version of some sort of boot camp, you know, some sort of program where these kids are basically beaten to submission. That's a possibility too. I know that's a little bit of a stretch, but why would they throw him in a car and then drive off and then so quickly? I think that there was a plan. And they exacted that plan. And now they're hiding behind their compound and also their lawyers. And instead of actually stepping forward, just facing the music and doing the right thing, taking responsibility for their actions, taking responsibilities for what they've done, what he did, allegedly he did. Could have been mom too, you never know. But instead of doing that, they're hiding. That's that is literally murkying up the water, muddying up the water, making things worse than it actually needs to be. Because if he's alive and well, all you got to do is say, hey, he's alive and well, he's right here, so on and so forth. Fine, I did that. I put my hands on my son. I did that wrong thing. I will face the music. Let's do what we need to do. What's the procedure in that, right? you know, for a fact, this congregation will still appreciate and love him and forgive him and welcome him back with open arms. But maybe in his mind, he's like, no, I must lead my group. I must protect my sheep. I must protect my flock. And if I leave, they will go off. I will lose my congregation. I will lose my flock. I must stay. So if I get thrown in jail, that's a day, 2, 3 weeks being locked up, not being able to teach and preach to my people. So maybe he believes that too. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks and asking the questions. Okay? But it is very odd how they've moved, how they've been interacting with police, and all that is suspect. And sure, if he's alive and well, just show him. Show us the proof. That's all we ask. That's all I'm asking. And I think that's a very simple ask. The only reason why it's difficult is either because he ain't here or he ain't here. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. If you can, please do me a favor. Oh, wait a second. Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. But if you guys can... sorry, I'm just reading some stuff. But if you guys can do me a favor before we head out, hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. That would really, really mean a lot. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Please. Crush it. All right. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. Do not forget to hit that follow button on my Facebook, X/Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Show some love. Go over there. Subscribe to those, or hit those follow buttons over there. Subscribe to my main channel here. Please go over to the Pascal Show Clips, my secondary channel. Subscribe over there as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, we got some really great content coming your way over there as well. Okay, so please go check that out when those things drop. Make sure you hit that notification bell and set it to all so you know that whenever we go live, whenever we upload, you're right there consuming the information. Okay. And of course, if you want to support, hit that join button down below. Become a member of the family. That'd be awesome. Or you can go check out patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Okay, it's down there in the ticker right there, going that way as we speak. All right. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get going, but I will see you guys very, very soon. I may be on a little bit later on tonight. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. But it's time to get going. Let's find Bryson, guys. Let's at least get some truth and transparency around Bryson's case, okay? Because he could very well be just on the compound just fine. Just show us him being alive and well. That's all I think a lot of us are asking for, right? What the law enforcement is asking for right now, too. But anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Talk to you guys soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.